And welcome to Geekdom's official in-depth Star Wars The Force Awakens full-length trailer breakdown, where I, and in this case, a very special guest who I'll introduce momentarily, we are going to break down the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer, talk about the visuals, talk about what we see, what we think is going to happen, do a little bit of speculation, and yes, folks, some very light spoilers, okay? If you don't want to be spoiled about the film, this might not be the video for you, but there will be some very light spoilers in this video. Before we go any further, I just want to say that there has been some leaked information about the plot. However, the one thing that J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, and those folks over at Disney and Lucasfilm have done very well is that the third act of this movie is being kept extremely under wraps. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a big battle because what would Star Wars be without a big battle? But the actual plot of what happens at the end of this film is being kept super secretive. So we're not going to give away too much here, I don't think. Very light spoilers. Joining me for this trailer breakdown, of course, a man who you've heard before on the channel, but not in anything other than Dragon Ball. But here we are talking about stuff outside of Dragon Ball because he's not just a Dragon Ball guy, and we're talking Star Wars today, The Force Awakens. Please welcome Mike from LaughingStock Media.
Hey guys, it's Mike here from Laughing Stock Media. How's it going?
And I like talking Star Wars with Mike because not only does he hate the prequels, he also loves Jedi, which is controversial, but I truly appreciate the greatness of Star Wars Episode 6.
Well, it's the best one, so you better.
So let's talk about this. Before we go any further, just real quick, your impressions of the trailer when you first saw it, very briefly, and then we're going to go through. Like, were you just, like, in tears? Like, what happened?
I was close. I mean, it was when I cry, I cure cancer. When Harold cries, he, drops nukes from his eyeballs, but that was him crying at the beginning of most of his videos. But in my case, it was just like, wow, I was blown away. It looks amazing. Everything about it is just something that I'm just very, very happy to see because, I mean, this is really Star Wars back again and really, this is a movie I have been waiting to see for decades because I've been a Star Wars fan since I can remember. I've watched those over and over and over. I used to watch the real versions, the VHS versions, over and over and over. So to finally see real sequels, not fake prequels, real sequels, is really something that I love. So I'm very happy about
And
this.
the prequels do have some good stuff to them, folks. It's just that it's just that people love to rag on them. But this will not, no matter, even if this movie sucks or if it's great, this will not be anything like the prequels without question. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play on this. I'm gonna pause it as we go through here, and then me and Mike are gonna talk about what we see. If I miss something, Mike, definitely stop me. And of course, I gotta lower that a little tiny bit. It opens up with some mysterious character who we know for sure is definitely gonna be Rey because she's carrying the staff, and Rey is here, and I lowered it even more, bro. It's actually kind of loud, like on my thing.
I can't even hear it, but yeah.
Well, I can't on my headphone. But Rey is now. Let's go back a little bit here. Rey was what appears to be inside of that abandoned Star Destroyer that we saw in the trailer. You said some very interesting stuff before we went on the air about this shot.
It literally looks like she's inside of concept art from Ralph McQuarrie. It looks like that old school concept art, that really, fantastical looking environment, like the combination of the fantasy with the science fiction. It's so large in scope. It's just wonderful. It looks like a really epic shot. I wouldn't be surprised if this shot was done with an IMAX camera because it looks so massive in scope. It's just awesome.
It's huge. And the thing is about it is that I'm pretty sure this is the Star Destroyer that we saw in trailer 2 when she was driving towards it. This is her going inside of it. What is she rummaging for? That is the question. The thing is, there was a rumor, and again, I believe this rumor to not be true. This is not a spoiler, that Max von Sydow's character was actually the admiral on the Star Destroyer, and what happened was during the Battle of Jakku, which was shortly after the Battle of Endor, which will be playable in Star Wars Battlefront, during that battle, apparently what happened was the Star Destroyer got shot down, and the Empire just basically bailed on him. Like, what was left of the Empire, they basically left left him there. And as a result of that, he was trapped on Jakku, and as a result of that, he kind of no longer had loyalty towards the Empire. However, that rumor was from like February. I don't
Yeah.
believe that to be the case anymore, but I do believe, one thing I do know for sure is that this Star Destroyer is a remnant from the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to see the depth and scope of a Star Destroyer for once.
And even this scene right here with Rey walking with BB-8. Now, do you believe that BB-8 is her property, or do you believe it's Poe Dameron's property? Because there's two different kind of
Uh,
rumors about who the actual original owner of BB-8 is.
I mean, if she's with Poe Dameron, then I would assume that it's his. But from what we see right now, I mean, it just seems like she's coming from that Star Destroyer. You know, maybe she's going to sell whatever she's taken. So it's highly possible that she uses him, you know, to scan things to try and, you know, acquire what exactly she's looking for. But I mean, that's an interesting theory as well.
Is this staff a lightsaber underneath?
Uh,
A
I
covert
mean,
lightsaber.
it's very long, unless it's like a Darth Maul-esque lightsaber. It seems kind of long. It
That's
could
what
even
she
be one
said.
of yes, it is. And it could very well be one of those electrical things, you know, that they use in the prequels, like
Yeah,
General
those.
Grievous' henchmen.
Yeah, which don't ever work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering your thoughts on it. Moving on, we then have our fade out, and we see a ship leaving Jakku. I'm
hmm
not sure what ship that is, but it looks like Rey is watching the ship. Again, this
I
could be a trailer trick, though. You know.
Yeah, I don't think it's any ship in specific. I think it's just basically a Luke Skywalker-esque sort of shot. You know, Luke looking at those stars or the, you know, as they're setting in the distance. I think it's very similar. It seems like she might be starting off with very humble Luke-esque beginnings on this planet, and then she wants to really get away.
Yes, I agree. I think you're right. Lucasfilm Limited logo, and then we have, of course, our big shot of, and this is not really a spoiler because it's been out there. That's General Hux right there in the middle, and he's giving the speech for his troops for one of the big battles in the film. And here we see thousands upon thousands of stormtroopers, TIE fighters, and I believe somebody said that there are actually walkers here, but I haven't seen any pictures of them.
Now is he Andy Serkis's character?
No, Andy Serkis's character is Supreme Leader Snoke, and we have
Okay.
not seen anything. The two big mysteries of this whole thing, well, the three big mysteries. Luke, which we kind of know who he is, but Snoke we haven't seen at all, and so we haven't seen well, we also haven't seen Lupita Nyong'o's character, but we also, yeah, we haven't seen Snoke yet. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
General Hux. This is supposed to be like the, from what I understand, he's like the Grand Moff Tarkin of the movie. He's not the head
Okay.
guy, but he's the head. He's the head of this group. Is what I understand.
This is very propaganda-esque, like something from Battleship Potemkin or from Nazi propaganda films, which I believe were both shot by Sergei Eisenstein. It's very interesting. I'm seeing that influence in another sort of Star Warsy look, because there's always been those influences in cinematography in Star Wars.
Well, not just that, but also a very good point. Well, maybe we should do another video about this down the road. The parallels between the First Order and Hitler's New Order.
Yes.
There's definitely there. You can't tell me that was an accident. JJ and Lawrence Kasdan are doing this on purpose and it makes sense. Like the Empire came down. It's not the same Empire as it was 30 years ago, and it was replaced by this mysterious new First Order reassembled.
Also, I just noticed something real quick. Look at that. Go back to those stormtroopers. Look at the one in the middle right or the middle left.
The rocket
Right
pack one
there.
right here.
Yeah, looks like he has a rocket pack.
Yeah.
That must be, maybe he's a different kind, because I see another one over there. Maybe they're different kinds of infantry. They can, you know, some are, you know, Jango Fett, Boba Fett sorts of rocket pack wearing ones, and some are just more like infantry that run around.
Well, we know for a fact that there are actually two kinds of stormtroopers in this film, or three kinds. There's your regular, there's the flame troopers, and then there's the snow troopers. That's been in all the media, like for the toys and whatnot. So we're gonna see flamethrowers. We're gonna see the classic snow troopers. They're on a snowy planet. There's gonna be more stormtroopers in this movie than I would say even in Attack of the Clones, and they actually look more real.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're not CGI.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm sure some of them are, but not as much. Speaking of stormtroopers, so we see here our first look at Finn, you know, who's always sweating and scared. That seems to be
And breathing heavily.
breathing heavily. He takes off his mask, which is filled with blood, covered with blood, and he's sweating and concerned, just like he was in the other trailer. What do you think is going on here?
I think something big just happened. Like maybe he was forced to kill a child. Something. It seems like there's some realization that is going on in his mind right now. Because in the background he says, "I've been raised to do one thing, but I don't know what to fight for anymore." So that to me kind of implies that some big turning point happened somewhere around what they're kind of capturing in this image here, and maybe he had to kill someone or do something like really significant, and now he's just completely questioning everything that happens.
The thing that's interesting is that he says, "I've been raised all my life." That to me tells me that at some point after the Battle of Endor, when the First Order was formed, now we know for a fact that the Empire stopped using the clones before A New Hope because the clones they malfunctioned a lot. And if you look at
Yes.
the expanded universe, we find out that they actually rebelled a lot, because the inhibitor chip was broken. That's all EU shit.
And they were Vader's special squad, right? The
Yeah,
remaining clone
the
troopers.
remaining, and there weren't that many of them. But what was interesting is they started to actually, recruit actual people like the military
Yes.
does. But it seems like with this, they're recruiting from childhood, because this guy's saying my whole life I was trained for this or whatever. So
Or
basically, what it sounds like is that this guy was taken as a kid to become a member of the First Order, and now as a grown up, he's realizing that these guys are all a bunch of scumbags.
and it's also possible that there's actual sectors that are still completely controlled by the remnants of the empire, which are the First Order. So, if that's who they are, and they raised him with propaganda, like North Korea, to believe
Yes.
this certain thing, and now he actually believes, he's seeing the truth.
Yeah, he believes that the First Order are the good guys, and that there's a lot of unanswered questions, man. I had been talking to a couple friends of mine about that Aftermath book, and the Aftermath book only goes so far. There are
Yeah.
some things that are still unanswered. One of the theories that I had heard, though, I want to get your thoughts on this, is that what happened on the Death Star between Luke, Vader, and Palpatine was actually not what was reported to the mass media. In other words, and this is going to get me kind of excited because I kind of like this idea. In other
Mhm.
words, there was a cover up, and
Yeah.
because think about it, we never find out in any of the 6 movies. They never actually reveal to the public that Emperor Palpatine was a Sith Lord, and we never find out the true nature of Darth Vader and how evil they were. They were perceived as being good, and the Empire was perceived as being a good thing for a while.
Yeah.
So I think the propaganda might end up being that maybe they told the world that Luke assassinated the Emperor, and you know what I mean. It could be something like
Yeah.
that, where
I mean, it's
the galaxy thinks that they're actually the good guys.
and it would explain things that happen a little bit later in this trailer, like what Han Solo says, and what we're going to see
Yes.
from Kylo Ren shortly.
Yeah, very, very good, interesting stuff. This shot right here looks amazing.
I
Um,
don't I don't know what's happening though. I don't see any other ships, so it's possible that he decides, I'm out of here, and the Star Destroyer is like, "Nope, you're not going anywhere," and shoots him down. Because then he
yes,
says, "I don't have anyone to fight for anymore," which would imply to me that they tried to kill him because he left.
light spoiler coming up. All right,
Okay.
light spoiler. Uh, you're on the right track. Basically, from what I understand, and again, this is a possible light spoiler. Poe Dameron's on the Star Destroyer as well, but Finn does not know how to fly, and Poe does. Finn, after that sweaty scene, rescues Poe Dameron, and they escape on a TIE fighter. And you can see them do this in trailer 1 or trailer 2. The scene where that TIE fighter shoots in that hangar, that's them escaping.
Oh,
And the other evidence to back this up is if you go out and you buy the Finn action figure, he says, "We've got to go back to Jakku." And if you push the button. So this
yeah.
tells me that what happened was, and again, very light spoiler, it's only in Act 1, they grab this TIE fighter, they escape, the Star Destroyer says nope, shoots him down, and then, of course, if you go back to trailer 1, you'll see that scene of the destroyed TIE fighter, and you see him get up all sweaty. That's what I think that is.
Very possible. I mean, that's very interesting. There's
And,
so much. Yeah.
and this jacket, I believe, belonged to Poe Dameron because there's pictures of Oscar Isaac wearing the jacket. So,
Yep.
but here's what I don't understand. This is where you and I will have to speculate. If they both land on Jakku, where the hell is Poe? Is he
Yeah.
is he knocked out on the ship? Does he leave Finn by himself? How does Finn get the jacket? There's a big hole here.
Well, I actually we see Finn, remember, in the original trailer, we see him like jump up with the stormtrooper armor on, and he doesn't
Yes.
have it here. So it's
Yes.
possible that maybe Finn got thrown from the ship, like when he landed, and survived somehow, maybe with the armor, and that's basically why he's not with them. But at this point, it seems like he would have had to take the armor off and stuff before this happened. So this could even be happening later on after the crash, and just makes it seem like through editing that it's during it.
Yep, we'll see. Now, this scene right here, of course,
Amazing looking.
JJ couldn't help himself back there. Thank you, JJ. He couldn't help himself. Amazing looking. What's going on here? It looks like there's some kind of beam that's being shot. There's a theory about this I'm going to get to later on about where that beam is coming from. But
Yeah.
yeah, now we have our first look at Kylo Ren
Well,
and his
to me,
voice.
it almost looked to me. Yeah, I mean, his voice sounds really interesting. I didn't expect him to sound like that, but I really like it. It kind of reminds me of Bane from Dark Knight Rises
Yeah,
in a
there
lot
you
of
go.
ways, especially with that kind of robotic sound aspect to it. But it's also possible that what we're seeing, it looks kind of like either like stars, a nebula, or maybe even rings of a planet. Because if there's like, it looks like almost like it's kind of looped or kind of curved. So that's also possible.
Yeah,
Um,
that could be the case. And the
but
thing
it's
is, also, just one thing I've noticed is that, just obviously this is Adam Driver, and there is promotional footage of him without the mask on. That is not
yeah,
his face. He is wearing a mask. He is not like Vader. He can
it
take that
looks
mask on and off.
it looks very similar to
Revan,
Darth Revan's or
Revan,
yeah,
yeah.
Revan. And also from the back, it does actually look from the back a lot like Vader's helmet too.
And speaking of which, again, this scene is interesting. He says, we're going to continue where you left off. Now, there's two theories here. I don't know. I do not know. I'm speculating. The two theories I've read is that one is to take over the galaxy, which actually Vader and the Emperor kind of did for a while.
Yeah.
But the other one was to convert Luke Skywalker into a Jet or into a Sith or into a Dark Force user and to kill him. And the big talk is that this trilogy, a big part of it is all circled around Luke Skywalker. Could Kylo Ren be hunting down Luke? One more piece of evidence to this. If you buy the Kylo Ren action figure, one of the things he says is we must find and kill the last Jedi. Has to be Luke. There's who
Yeah.
else would it be? Who else would
I
it be?
mean, like,
He
yeah,
wants
I mean,
Luke, bro.
it makes perfect sense. And Star Wars, from what we've seen, except for the prequels, the original trilogy is very much the story of Luke, as even more so than Vader. So it's very, it makes a lot of sense that it's still going to revolve around Luke in a lot of ways. Luke was the main character. But also going back to what your theory was earlier about the propaganda and stuff, it makes sense that Ren would not know what happened on the Death Star at the end because who was going to tell him? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Maybe he'll
So
find out in one of the future movies.
yeah, so it's very possible that he doesn't know Vader turned to the dark side, turned to the good side, and that the Emperor was killed by Vader. He assumes that Vader was murdered, when he was trying to accomplish this goal of killing the Jedi.
Not just that, but the big question there also lies in what is like, is he one of those guys that kind of grew up worshiping, or idolizing Darth Vader, thinking of him as some kind of hero, for saving the galaxy from the Jedi, like you said. But the thing is, and we'll talk about the Knights of Ren later on. It just is very interesting. One of the rumors I had heard is that Kylo Ren is so powerful in the First Order that people actually believe that he is Darth Vader, which is very, very interesting because his name is
Hmm.
not Darth Vader. I don't know if I think that sounds like a bullshit rumor to me, but I guess we'll find out. But we've seen the Vader mask in material leading up to this film all year.
I kind of wonder how he even got it.
So do I. So do I.
And in
Now,
this scene, it
this is
definitely looks
interesting.
like it seems to me
That's
that
Poe right there.
yeah, that's Poe Dameron. It seems to me like he definitely has some sort of force power that he's utilizing. Like it's not that he just has a lightsaber. It seems like he's utilizing some sort of force power to like mind attack or mind
Or
rape this
I
dude.
think
So
it's
he can get
to get in his mind and find something.
yeah, so it seems like they're torturing him in a Vader-esque capacity, like Vader tortured a lot of people in the original trilogy. So it seems like he's following suit, but also using his force power to extract information about maybe, the good guys so that they can possibly get inside information.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get information. And the thing about this scene is this kind of harkens back to what I said earlier about Poe and Finn meeting up on the Star Destroyer. I think that this is a scene where Kylo Ren is interrogating Poe, trying to get into his head. He probably can't do it, and then that ends up leading to Finn finding Poe and escaping on the TIE Fighter, which is what we saw earlier. I think it all makes sense. I mean, look at where we're at here. We're on that Star Destroyer.
Yes.
You know, the thing is, I heard another rumor. Again, this is not a spoiler, just a rumor that Kylo Ren is actually not force sensitive at all, and that his thing is that he's pissed because he's not force sensitive and he wants to learn the force, and that may, of course, lead to the big rumor. Again, this is all a rumor. I don't know if this is true. Is that near the end of this film or at the beginning of the next film, he's going to receive training from an ancient Sith Lord. Maybe Snoke, maybe Andy Serkis, or maybe Benicio del Toro. It could be Benicio del Toro. And at the same time, the good guys are going to get training from Luke, and we're going to see some more badassery in episodes 8 and 9. That's just a rumor.
And I have my own theory, though. What if this is the creation of Apocalypse, and this is how we lead into X-Men?
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Disney and Fox are getting along a little bit better. So this explosion right here, I don't know what to make of it.
It could be them using the possible ultimate weapon on a planet or something and obliterating it.
We're going to talk about that shortly. Now, this is where the freaking Leia song plays, the remix version, and damn near tears come out of my eyes when I see this. This is confirmed to be one of the IMAX sequences from JJ himself. And it looks there's just so much detail in
so much
everything.
Depth and scale to it.
Dude, and the thing, you know what sucks, Mike, is that you know what sucks is that even though we make fun of George Lucas, I respect him as, you know, for creating this whole thing, but I also respect him for his vision. But I almost feel like this is what he wanted to do with the prequels, this kind of vastness, and he just couldn't do it because the technology was there, but it wasn't really there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's a combination because he of course wanted to pioneer digital, and they're shooting this whole thing in film, and they're using IMAX film. Yeah, and the thing is that, like with Lucas, if he just had the right people there to guide him in the proper direction, because Lucas works best like Vince Russo when he's guided, you know, with a filter. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Rick McCallum's gonna suck his dick for 2 hours.
I know. If he just had. And Rick McCallum ruined the freaking Star Trek movies too, the new Next Generation. But if they just had some good people there with Lucas to show him, you got to do in this direction, you got to do that, or if he did focus, you know, people, it's like, what do you want to see? Do you want to see a lot of CGI, practical effects, a mixture like the originals? If he just had those people there, maybe we could have seen something like this years ago.
Yeah, this scene, bro, it's like a roller coaster ride. I can't wait to see this in theaters. You see the Star Destroyer in the background. This is the ship graveyard that we've seen in the promotional material. There is before we get to that, there's a scene of that was in the leaked Comic-Con thing where you see Rey inside of the ship, and she's trying to pilot like the little guns on the side. I'm guessing they're escaping because they don't know how to work those things, or maybe they don't work anymore because, you know, this is an old ship. Then we cut to this scene. This is one of the best scenes ever. It looks like what's happening here is that they're on a break or something, and they're talking aboard the Millennium Falcon, and we see like a map of the galaxy. And this is when basically, you know, the voiceover, she says, what does she say? She's like, there were stories, right?
Yes. And I love this.
I love it too. You love that lore shit, bro.
Yes.
It makes your cock hard.
Yes. But on top of that, Han Solo, there was this progression of his character throughout the original trilogy where he became more open to the Force. You know what I mean? Originally, he's like, I don't believe in hokey religions. Nothing's going to tell me an all-powerful force controls everything. And now Han Solo is saying it's all true. The dark side, the Jedi, they are all real. Like, that's just awesome. Because if they did a thing where he comes in and he's like, oh, hokey religions, I would have been pissed off. But they're doing the complete realistic, logical progression of his character. After all the shit he's seen, if he doesn't believe yet, he's never going to, and he finally seems to believe. So I love that.
I love it, too, and I love the real conviction in his face. I mean, the guy's still a good actor. It's all true. So, but now, is it one of those things where kind of Rey and Finn are asking him, you know, what really happened? It almost seems like, it almost goes back to my theory about there being a legitimate cover up. It's almost as if like the First Order, whomever, is trying to hide the existence that Jedi ever even existed.
It's
It's
very
only
strange.
it's only been 30 years though. I mean, right? It's
I
only
know
been 60 since they actually did exist.
it is very strange. I mean, the thing is too, um, it is strange in that capacity. But on top of that, it's also, um, I
Yeah,
mean,
what
like
happened in those 30
it
years, bro?
it could be that Finn, for example, I don't know about Rey, but it could be that both of them come from an area of the galaxy that was controlled by the First Order or somebody who was doing a lot of propaganda to make it
Propaganda.
seem like so they actually are asking what really happened because their side of the galaxy doesn't know, but at the same time it could be like there's planets all over the universe, all over the galaxy that could have just been like, Psh, that shit never happened. There's no Jedis and stuff like that. It was a combined military force by normal people that took them out. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to believe that anyone used the force. So it's possible that that's also a thing too.
That's what I hope. That sounds great. It's just weird that those events are just kind of been swept. That they've been swept under the rug. So then we have the hyperdrive sequence here. This looks incredible, and they actually took
It
they
looks
took
like Star Trek.
It does, but it looks like Star Wars too. They did
Yeah.
such a great job here. This Christmas. All right, that scene right there. Are these the Knights of Ren? I think
They
they
look
are.
they look awesome either way. I mean, I love this the juxtaposition of the rain on top of their armor bouncing off because it's real rain, not CGI rain. They look all wet. He's not even wearing his hood in this. It looks awesome. It really does. So I'm really happy to see these guys out there just, prowling around ready to kill some people.
Yeah, and they're not stormtroopers.
No,
These almost have to be the Knights of Ren.
they look
Now,
like a special task force.
yeah, and of course, for those who don't know, slight spoiler, but it's already been revealed. The Knights of Ren are a group that exists that Kylo Ren is part of. Now, what we don't know is where the Knights of Ren come from. There's several rumors that they started and they formed after the Battle of Endor, and there's other rumors that the Knights of Ren have been around even before Episode 1. There's rumors that the Knights of Ren are actually dark Jedi Sith users that created this like cult. And we know, you and I have talked off air about conspiracies and things. It's almost like the Knights of Ren are like the Masons, you know what I mean? And they have their own little group and they have their own little way of worshiping the Force. And notice how he's the only one that has a lightsaber. Very interesting.
And so maybe if the Knights of Ren predate Kylo Ren is a Darth Vader name. It's a false name to cover up his true identity. So maybe Ren is the surname and Kylo is something else. So
well, there is a rumor about who he really is. I don't know if
I've heard that rumor too. I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, it sounds pretty legit. But we'll see. I don't know for sure. But yeah, you're right. Now, do you think that this lightsaber, obviously he created this lightsaber, it's an incomplete lightsaber. Do you think it was christened upon him? Or do you think that, because I almost feel like, we know that Kylo Ren is essentially, I hate to say it, but a Star Wars fanboy. He wants to collect Sith artifacts. That's been talked about.
It seems very meta.
Very meta, and the whole movie seems meta, like it's for the new audience, because yes, this actually happened, and yes, this is happening. Like this movie is actually being made. I almost felt the movie self-aware.
Yeah.
Another rumor that I heard too is that this scene is actually not actually live. It's a forced flashback. Now, there have never been any Star Wars flashbacks in any of the movies, but there's talk that there's a scene in the movie where Lupita Nyong'o's character actually touches one of the main characters in the forehead and gives them like flashback kind of information, and that's when you see this. Don't know if that's true or not, but that's one of the rumors.
And the rumors leading up to the movie, there were rumors that Darth Vader might appear in flashbacks as well.
That was a rumor from a while back. And the thing that's interesting about that is I'm a little skeptical about it, but if you go out and you buy any Star Wars Force Awakens merchandise, Vader is everywhere.
Yeah.
No Darth Maul, no Darth Tyrannus, no, not even any Palpatine. Vader is all over the promotional material of Force Awakens. And I know he's the most iconic villain in the franchise. We know that, but it's like Frieza. But still, I I don't know. Moving on, we have this. You know, we've seen this scene before in other different angles of this scene. The blue X-wings getting ready. This is a new scene right here. It looks like it to be one of the final battles of the movie. And again, this is all real. This is not CGI. So much more realistic to look at. I mean, maybe the background's like a painting.
Yeah, the background, but that's what
typical.
CGI should be used for. That's the modern equivalent of a matte painting. You know what I mean? A matte painting. You know, that's what CGI is great for. So that's acceptable CGI.
Yeah. Now this scene right here, scenes of the battle. It's just never looked this good, yo. Just the water, just everything. You know, we have TIE fighters and X-wings, and I love this scene right here. Poe Dameron, Finn, and by the way, Finn and Rey do have last names. J.J. Abrams has purposely avoided saying what their last names are.
Fowler?
No, but what if it's Finn Calrissian
Or Kenobi?
That means that Obi-Wan has jungle fever, bro. That's what that means, bro. but no,
but you notice that Poe Dameron is almost like Cameron Poe from Con Air.
I'm the one who told you that, bro. Come on.
Sure.
I'm
saying it to sound cool, though.
All right. Well, JJ's a mark for Con Air, but who isn't a mark for Con Air?
I know.
Now, this scene obviously takes place on Yavin, or at least I think it does. And it really is reminiscent of the scene in A New Hope when they all are about to attack the Death Star. And we have that thing where Poe is like kind of wishing him luck, and Finn is like scared. Like, that seems to be his thing. I really believe, Mike, that Finn is going to be the Luke Skywalker of this story, not in the sense that I think that every character is going to borrow elements from the original 3 characters. I think that Finn's going to be that guy who starts out like kind of whiny and kind of scared, and then by episode 9 he's just a fucking badass who just rips people apart.
Well,
that's my theory.
I mean, Han Solo in kind of foreshadowing, when we show Finn, he says the Jedi. So
that's one of the theories. I don't think he's a Jedi, but I think he's going to become a Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like he's going to be a Jedi. I feel like they might make Rey a Jedi. They might make all 3 of them a Jedi. It seems like I feel like Cameron Poe. You know, I feel like he's going to be a big deal too, because like he's being mind attacked. Yeah, I know, and he's being taken over, or he's being assaulted. So I feel like he's going to be a big deal too. So maybe all 3 of them are going to become Jedi. Maybe all 3 of them are going to play a huge role.
He is they're the 3 main leads. They are the 3 main leads. He is confirmed for episode 8. Also, there's actually a rumor that Rey already is a Jedi. I don't believe that yet, but we'll wait and see. So then we have this amazing shot right here. JJ's loving to use his camera angles here.
Yeah.
Big, just look at that. I mean, it's just so vast. Like, how do you even shoot something like this? Like, very few. Look, I sound weird saying this. I have seen very few movies that look like this. Like this shot right here is reminiscent of those old World War II movies where they actually had these vast, like, real life camera shots. But we know this isn't real because these ships don't exist in the real world unless there's a big there's a real cover up going on. So it's right. Like, look at this shit.
I mean, Star Wars does borrow a lot of imagery from World War II movies, so it's very possible that they use similar things, like Howard Hughes flying around inside of a airplane, just getting shots with a camera. It's possible that they did something like that.
Yeah, it is possible. It just looks, but of course these ships don't exist, so they had to
so they
artificially do it. Yeah, which is maybe requires even more skill. Moving on, then we have this scene, which is, of course, we've seen this in previous trailers. Finn, BB-8, and Rey are running away from TIE fighters. The big talk is that they're going to run into the Millennium Falcon, and then we're going to have that chase sequence. And and they're there. This scene is very interesting. There's a Mandalorian logo up here. There's a new droid here.
It's like something from Zelda.
It does. Now, where is Han Solo taking them? He's there with them. No Chewbacca, but maybe he's on the ship still. He is taking. There's Finn. There's Rey. There's BB-8. Is he taking them to Luke? Or is he taking them to someone
I heard that's
else?
a rumor. I heard this is a Jedi temple.
Yeah, I heard it's either a Jedi temple or a temple because the reason why is I don't think Jedi temples would have this droid here, but I heard also it could be a pirate's den. But we'll see, because there are different pirates and shit. Now, speaking of Jedi, we have our only shot so far of Luke at all in any of these. touching R2-D2's forehead. One of the rumors is that this is also a flashback. However, I have my doubts that this is actually in the movie. And then we have this scene right here, which I believe this scene takes place at the beginning of the film, when I believe Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, and the First Order are attacking a village looking for an artifact. That's the rumor that's been going around forever and ever and ever. And this ship right here, I believe, is Kylo Ren's ship, because if you watch the Comic-Con release, you see him coming out of the ship. So I think that's his ship. And there's Captain Phasma looking awesome, bro. A girl is under that.
Reminds me a lot of Samus.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're seeing the war influences, bro, and everything's on fire. So you're gonna see the storm, you're gonna see the flame troopers, and then of course this infamous shot of Kylo Ren obviously cutting somebody to pieces.
Yeah, to me, it reminds me of, it's some very, like, maybe he's decapitating someone with his lightsaber. It's some very interesting symbolism there. You know, maybe like the Antichrist coming in and cutting off people's heads.
And he's got the cross too. So these guys, they remember Hollywood's all about this. So this scene right here, this has been the talk of the town. This one,
yeah,
looks like somebody's either very hurt or dead, and Rey is crying. Now, based upon this garb right here, it looks like it could be Finn, because this is Finn's brown jacket, or it could be Han Solo. As far as I know, John Boyega is not confirmed for the sequel. However, I somehow have doubts that he's gonna die, because I think that Finn, Rey, and Poe are the 3 new leads.
That would be really weird if they killed him off, because I mean, it just seems like he's gonna be like a real main character. So if they kill him off, that's gonna be a big shock.
Yeah, and the whole story is going to be that he started out in the First Order and then turned. It would be a shock. Or maybe he's just hurt right here. I don't know. But she's in, somebody's hurt. And then we see them getting captured. We don't know who's capturing them. We don't see it. But that's a great shot of Chewie right there. And then we have this scene right here, which looks very epic on that snow planet. But here's the big thing right here. Notice the Earth is cracking open.
We might have another Death Star trench run. You never know.
Well, the rumor is that this is the Starkiller base, and the thing about the Starkiller base, if you look at the promotional poster, you'll see the thing actually open with the red eye inside of it. It sounds like what's going on, what I think is going on about the Starkiller base, is that the Starkiller base is one of the First Order's main strongholds, but it's actually supposed to be an even more powerful Death Star, and it's actually supposed to be, again, this is all a rumor, channeling energy from the core, which is very Star Trek-y, from the core of the planet, and it does have a beam like the Death Star. But the thing about this base is that it's hidden inside of the Earth, inside of the planet. It's not like a floating moon or whatever. That's no moon. It's actually a camouflage base. So the planet looks like an ice planet, but it's actually a giant base, and you can't tell it's a giant base. So it's like a more covert Death Star. That's the rumors that I had heard. And that's
no planet.
Dude, that's when that thing opens up, bro, in IMAX, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
BB-8 is there, and I think BB-8 is with Poe. And then and there it is again. You see this opening up. Could it be a trench, or could it actually be opening? I don't know.
And it also looks like, if you look at Poe Dameron's helmet and his armor, we see the sign of the rebellion.
Yeah, which is now the sign of the resistance. This has actually been converted. I guess they kept the same symbol. I don't know why. I don't know. Who knows? But this is. What do you think about that shot right there?
It's awesome.
More grandiose, right?
It's really, it is really grand. It's really wide and vast, and it's gonna be really interesting. If
like my dick.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long, but it'd be wide and vast to go down in there, so it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Then we see, of course, this scene of the stormtroopers running out of. I mean, there's not really much to see here. It just looks cool. And then she's blasting somebody. I love this scene. So we see a big castle there. We have heard talk that they did shoot around a castle, so there's going to be a castle in this movie. And I like
not
how
anymore.
Right, not anymore. I love how the X-wing just shoots the fucking stormtrooper. That's awesome. This scene,
if he doesn't have the Force, this is him just having a hissy fit, pretending he does. He's like, "Damn it, why can't I use the Force?"
Right now, this obviously takes place during that sequence where they tear down the village, because we're seeing the flame troopers literally tear the village down back there. They're looking for an artifact, and the rumor that's been going around for damn near a year is that the artifact is Luke's lightsaber from
Or the
Star.
Infinity Gauntlet.
No, it can't be that one. Well, Isaac, Poe might want it, but no. The rumor is that it's going to be Luke's lightsaber, which somehow winds up in the possession of one Finn, it is that same lightsaber that he uses.
Luke's or Anakin's?
Because it's the same one, Anakin, the blue one, the one that got cut off on Bespin.
Yeah, because Luke's in I feel like Luke's got destroyed at the end of Jedi, like the green one.
Yeah, it went and blew up. Yeah, they took it with them. We don't know. And then right here, I think this is from inside that Star Destroyer. They're in the chase sequence. That's what that's from. This is from later in the movie. It looks freaking amazing. That's one of the money shots right there. I want to get back to that. That's damn it, I can't get it right. That money shot, all right.
Yes.
Han and Leia reunited. That's the scene everybody wants to see.
I mean, to me, I hope it's not reunited after years and years, you know what I mean? Like, because I'd be kind of disappointed if they didn't actually stay together after the end of Jedi, after everything they went through, you know what I mean? So, like, if they just split up, that would be really, I don't know, I feel like I'd be disappointed as a result of that.
Well, there might have been a reason for their split, which you might find out. I don't know. There's two different rumors about that too, which I'm not going to get into.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what happened, but the big scuttlebutt with this scene, and obviously this is that same scene we saw Finn in earlier where they're preparing the final attack. I think this is going to be like that scene on Yavin where they're all getting ready to attack. This is what I think it's going to be. They're going to attack Starkiller Base. The thing is, why is she looking so upset? Is she just happy to see Han again, or is there something else? One of the scuttlebutts that's been going around is that she's going to feel a great disturbance in the Force, and that something very, very tragic is going to happen. And anybody who's been following the fucking spoilers knows the rumors about that. My question to you is this. By this time, is she Force sensitive? I would say yes, but more importantly, can she kick some Jedi ass? Did Luke train her?
I hope so, because, I mean, that's one of the things I feel like is established at the end of Jedi. I feel like Yoda says, pass on what you have learned. So either Luke should have family right now, or he should have taught Leia how to use the Force. So I feel like it's one of those two things that should have happened. So if neither of them end up happening, I mean, it's another thing that they might be diverting from, which I mean I wouldn't be happy about.
Unless there's a very good reason, like Luke goes into exile for a reason, which we do believe that Luke is in exile. That's been talked for a while. I mean, dude, Yoda said there is another. Dude, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna happen in this movie, but in one of these upcoming 3 movies, maybe we'll see her kick some real ass, bro, with a lightsaber.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Speaking of lightsabers, here we go. The jungle fight. And here we see Adam Driver's hair. Kylo Ren is not wearing a mask or the hood. And this is going to be a very personal face-to-face fight. He draws his lightsaber, boom, and we have our I believe that's it. That's where we see that at. This fight, let me get back to it here. We've already seen snippets of this in that weird dark forest. I love the fact that it's in a dark forest and it makes the lightsabers come out more. I believe that this is going to be one of the few lightsaber fights in this movie. I don't think we're going to get like 5 like we did in episode 3. I think there's only going to be a couple.
And hopefully this one isn't filled with crazy flips and other, choreographed things. It's more like a down, knockout fight.
Yeah, and the thing is also when you look at Finn, he looks scared. Once again, I don't think he knows how to use a lightsaber properly. I think, here's my theory. Kylo Ren's going to whoop his ass in this fight. Something he's going to whoop his ass. And something's going to happen to where Finn either gets hurt, maybe that's why that's why Rey is crying. Spoiler. I think they're going to have a rematch, just like Luke, in a future movie, and then trained up Finn's going to whoop his ass. That's what I think might happen.
That'd be cool.
That's one of the rumors. Or not one of the rumors. That's not a rumor. That's my speculation. Because it only makes sense. He's going to go in here. You see the look on his face, right? He's all fucking, oh my God, what have I got myself into? How am I going to survive this against this fucking nut? Because Kylo Ren's being portrayed as his nut job. And of course, there are rumors about who he really is, and there's other videos I've done, huh?
And the thing is, if neither of them have the Force, this also confirms that you don't need the Force to use a lightsaber.
Absolutely. I don't think you do either, but I think that obviously if you know the Force, you're going to be a lot faster and a lot better at it. But maybe the story's going to be like an arc between both of them. Like we said, maybe Finn goes to train with Luke in episode 8. Maybe this guy goes to train with Snoke or Benicio del Toro or whoever that mystery, evil Sith Lord is. And you know, maybe they come back in episode 9 and have their rematch fully trained, and then we get the flips.
Yeah.
You know, here's my question to you. We're done. I mean, that's it. The trailer's over. Here's my question to you. All right, what do you think? And I have not been able to figure any of this out. What is the goal of Kylo Ren, and why does he want these artifacts? What is his goal? There are rumors and speculation that he wants the lightsaber so he can create clones of Anakin Skywalker and bring him back to life. There's rumors that if they collect these artifacts, they're able to unlock secret Jedi holocrons that will unlock incredible Force abilities that you can learn, like earthquake Force powers and planet shifting Force powers, like real strong Force powers.
Yeah.
What else could it be? Like, what is Kylo Ren, the First Order's, I guess, well, mostly Kylo Ren, because I think the First Order is the military unit who wants power. What is Kylo Ren and Snoke's real, like, goal here? You know, that's what I want to know. That's the intriguing part to me.
I always had a kind of theory, and this really hasn't been established yet, but I had a theory that perhaps the reason why they're gathering this, you know, Sith, you know, related stuff is because they're trying to, you know, like all these Sith artifacts, for example, or Force artifacts might contain a lot of Force fragments, or they might contain a large amount of Force within them because they've been used by strong Force fielders.
Midi-chlorians.
Yeah. So it's possible that maybe they're trying to resurrect someone from the dead. You know, I had thought maybe that was Lord Plagueis from the prequels.
I didn't mean
so,
to do that.
you know, that is entirely possible that could be something too. You know, he wasn't able to come back in the original trilogy because maybe Sidious was holding him off with his own power. But I mean, they said that he could stop life. You know, he can create life or stop death. So it's possible that's that, or maybe Ren just can't use the Force, so he's trying to find things that'll let him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. Everything you just said makes sense, because we don't know. There's rumors that Ren can, there's rumors that Ren can't, but he wants to. We got 3 movies of these characters, so we're gonna see. Anyways, Mike, thank you for joining me. I'm assuming you've already got your ticket.
Yep.
We will be there, and we'll have much more to talk about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. As of right now, breaking records. If it's a good movie that requires multiple viewings, because movies don't become like Avatar unless they have multiple viewings. If this film ends up being so good that we get multiple viewings, it could break Avatar's record for being the highest grossing film of all time. Gun to your head, will it happen?
I think so. I think that this is the one movie that's going to, either this one or the sequel is going to be that one movie. I feel like it's this one that'll break Avatar.
You think this will do better in episode 8?
I think it's highly possible. I think depending upon how great this is, I think that this might do even better than the sequel.
Last question. If you were to pick which of the new leads in your prediction is of the lineage of the Skywalkers, whether it be children of Han and Leia or of Luke, who do you think it is? There's rumors about several of them. One of them has to be related to them. They have to be their child.
Which do you mean just the 3 good guys?
No, I'm talking about Kylo.
I think Kylo Ren is arguable. I think Kylo Ren could possibly end up being Luke's son. But the thing is, if that was the case, then it just seems like, why would he be trying to do, like, you know, he should know from Luke, you know, that's not what Vader wanted. So I don't know. It's either, I feel like it's either going to be Kylo Ren or it's going to be maybe Poe Dameron.
Not Rey. Because Rey's last name is being kept secret, bro.
I mean, the thing is that Rey is like, she's off on some random planet. Like, why would she be away from Luke?
That's it. You know? Well, but there's rumors that there's a reason why she's there. That she was hidden there, just like Leia was. Look, bro, I'm not gonna bullshit you. She was Daisy Ridley was on an interview, and she said, "My character is on planet Jakku solo, and if you don't know what I mean by that, then she pretty much kind of leaked it, bro." That's what she said. Maybe she's a red herring. Yeah. Maybe it's a red herring.
Or maybe she's a Solo.
Or maybe she's Kira Solo, which was the rumor for a long time. But either way, it's going to be awesome. All right, well, thanks, Mike, again. And thanks, everybody, for watching. And we'll catch your ass down the road.
Star Wars! Yay!